black bean and corn salsa with Hovey's Knives of China pepper knife. William Hovey Smith, 2016. I'm the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, and we've been using and writing about cooking knives for decades. And here we make some unusual salsa. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And what we have in front of me is the making of a corn and black bean salsa and some other interesting ingredients which we are going to use. Yep. Now I am also the owner of a new company, Hovey's Knives of China. And we use these interesting knives here. This is my Pepper and Small Veggy knife. And also our little caterer's friend here, to cut up very nicely these peppers in front of me. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 varieties of peppers that's going to go in this salsa. These three are of course bell peppers colored. These are fresh chili peppers of 2 varieties. And then we'll also have onion and fresh tomato. And we'll also add some canned tomatoes to bulk up the dish. And incidentally, it's fresh cherry season. So we have some fresh cherries that we've already pitted to put into the salsa. Now, interestingly enough, just today on the radio, on the Splendid Table, they taught us how to use a chopstick and a wine bottle to pit cherries. Yep, just put your cherry right here. Boom! It pushes the pit down into the empty bottle, and you've got a pitted cherry. And believe me, that's the simplest way I know of yet, and by far the cheapest. Of course, I did use an empty bottle rather than this one. But we may have other uses for this wine yet, so that's the reason it's on the table. I found myself out of vinegar very nearly. But I did have these old bottles of seasoned vinegars that had been in the house for years. I don't know why I got them or how I got them, but they're at least 10 years old, both of them. This one happens to be a cherry vinegar. And this one is seasoned with rosemary. So we will see how these do with our salsa. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is taste these vinegars and see how they are. Because I am going to need to have some vinegar from somewhere. I did have a little bit, but not much. Very vinegary and sour indeed. Okay. Yes, I do get some aftertaste of cherry. This rosemary vinegar, and these are mustard seed undoubtedly floating around in the bottle. Yeah. Very good, very distinctive. I think it'll go better in the dish than this. What else we got? Well, we got these cherries. So we're going to cut up the cherries right quick. And I also have 2 pots on the stove. This is going to be too much volume for the enamel pots that I usually cook salsa in. I'm going to actually take this to a church event, so I'm making much more than I would usually take for myself. So we're going to dice up these right quick, so they'll be ready to go in. Now this is going to give the salsa a little bit of unusual taste, as will this other vinegar. Yeah, this is not going to be like a salsa anyone's ever had before. Well, all of my cherry pits except one actually made it through. Okay, so that's not too bad for pitting cherries. this remincing here, just so to make sure I don't break anybody's tooth here. Because the cherry pit will do that, you know. They're pretty stout things. I always like to cook salsa in these enameled pots. That way you don't get any metal flavor. Now we're going to divide this content between these two pots. Okay. And our knife to stir a little bit here. Get everything loose. And exactly the same over here. I want to just lightly caramelize the onions and these peppers. Now if you wanted more flavor and a little twist on them, actually what you can do is take a torch, a little propane torch, and burn the outside of the peppers a little bit to where you get a little blackening on the outside, and that will give it a little more interesting flavor, particularly on the varieties of peppers that are not too hot. We can now start ladling in the black beans, and these have no seasoning in them. And I cooked about a pound of black beans between these two pots. That is about right. Now there is a very colorful salsa indeed. So this gets turned down to low. Lid put on it. And just allow the flavors to meld. Well, how did our salsa do? Well, it's slowly simmering on the stove. So we're going to try some on the chip and see how it fares. It has a little bit of a tomatoey taste, meaning it needs to cook down a little more. Taste a little thin. So again, this needs to evaporate a little bit. And get a little slow heat. Now this is a very mild salsa indeed. Not quite done. So it probably has about another half hour of simmering. And then I may add a couple of drops, just about 2 to each pot, of pepper sauce. Give it a little bit more kick. And then I think I'll have it. But yeah, this turned out to be a colorful, good looking product. And this is how you adjust the seasonings on your salsa, by the way. You wait till the salsa's done. And you get it just about cooked down to full consistency. And that's when you do your final adjustment to get just exactly what you want out of it. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Now here is a recipe written out as I did it. Now I did put 2 jalapeno peppers in there that I didn't mention in the video, as well as these other things. Now don't get too excited about following it precisely. This is a rather free-form dish, and at the end you wind up seasoning it to your particular taste. So go ahead and have fun with it. I am the author of Backyard Deer Hunting and other outdoor books, and I use knives and have recipes in all of my books. And this includes crossbow hunting, as well as extreme muzzleloading, and even fish stuff and more interesting edge tools in practical bow fishing. I also have a new line of business books under the Profit brand. The first one of these is Ideas for New Businesses, How to Start Your Own Million or Billion Dollar Business, and the Hovey's Knives of China is an example of one of these. For more information about my books, blogs, and more than 500 YouTube videos, you can go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.